I would say when you look at AI, you see that entire industries, and it's not healthcare and fintech, are disrupted by AI in a positive sense, because we have a lot of AI which is for social good. And what, in my view, is the most important, that we can't see AI in isolation. We have to see it really with the convergence of technology. So with all the other technology we have and connected with AI, this is what brings it forward. So if we look at the cryptocurrency, if we look at digital wallets, for example, in healthcare, we can also use wallets for healthcare data. We can do cross-border. All is driven by AI, and everything is connected. A lot of my clients always ask me, why is this happening now? And I'm saying it's happening now because now we have the big convergence. And there's one company, ARK Investment, who has done a fantastic study on this, how this convergence goes through all vertical. And the estimate is in 2030, the value generation is about 230 trillion US dollar. So we're not only seeing productivity growth, we also see completely new business models developing. And obviously, my dear friends here on this call in healthcare in particular, where I'm super excited about, see a lot where we can improve people's health, people's also not only health care, but prevention is done completely different. And one example last year, which really blew my mind, was the example with brain chip interfaces, where a woman couldn't talk and couldn't communicate to her husband, and then you had a digital avatar. So you had the technology of digital twin avatars and virtual worlds, plus brain chip interfaces, plus the neurologic connections of AI. So that's beautiful for me, for really helping people and also changing people's life for the better. For finance, but it's similar to also what Joe mentioned. Privacy and data security is one. The biggest threat right now is in particular cybersecurity, because if everything is online and digital, there's more exposure. The second one I would say is the war for talent. So according to the latest research, you have obviously more demand than you have in particular also in finance, than you have dedicated people. And JP Morgan is on the top to get all the talents from other Wall Street companies. So it's a real war out there. And the question for me is always, how can we make sure that we get more people educated? And it starts from the top. So I do a lot of executive and board level education, but also others like women education, as you know, which I find incredible important, so that we can all get more knowledgeable, because we have a huge gap. So that's the second part. And Jamina already also mentioned the third part, which is data. We have so much data, and so far, in healthcare, we also have a lot of data in finance. We have a lot of data, and data has been used partially, but I wouldn't say that the data has been very well connected. And in particular, even though I jump from finance to healthcare, if you allow me, healthcare, it's a real problem that you don't have the data always with you when you travel, when you go to somewhere else, because the different doctors have your data, but you go in another country and everything is lost again. So I think there are huge opportunities, not only with AI, but if you connect it with the digital wallet for healthcare data. So data as an overall is a challenge, or this massive data. And the fourth one is really a bit, I would say, also of perception here. So how do we convince people that AI, yes, it's a threat, you can lose your job, but you also have an opportunity. And we come to all of this discussion, universal basic income. Geoffrey Hinton just a couple of days ago reiterated, we need universal basic income. Sam Altman, who's a big defender of universal basic income, has said we need universal basic computing, which means that everyone should have a slice of GPT-7, as he calls it. And everything has anyway changed since last week when we had this big announcement with ChatGPT 4.0. We were all, we were really all, oh my God, what is coming here? Is we are getting closer to her, so to the science fiction movie, and in particular for doctors, I have seen studies that ChatGPT are being more empathetic towards their patients, and that will be the same in all industry. So I discovered another AI which is called AI, and you can see your when you talk to this, you can see which mood you are in, and it's also used for healthcare for discovering Parkinson and other things. So all of this as a challenge can be misused, but for me, the most important is the more people we can educate, the more people we can get together in an ecosystem of government, of big companies, of everyone. Sometimes we underestimate the power of every person. If we have every person on the planet getting on to this, we have more power than the big tech. In particular, Gen AI. Gen AI is a huge opportunity. So McKinsey has estimated that actually finance, surprisingly, is one of the top number one benefiting from generative AI, because from front to back, banks are using a lot of languages. So their estimate is 200 to 300 billion US dollar opportunity. So bankers always like numbers. That's why it's also empowering them. You have 2 to 3 times more operating income when you do it right. As Ramya said, it's not easy to do it in the right way. So 3 ways to really implement AI, I would say. The first one, when you cluster it, is embed. So embedding is you can use also with regard to the, like there are 100,000s, but it's quite simple in a way. When you look at the use case, embedding, everyone will embed Microsoft Copilot, because most of the people, hundreds of millions of people, I think it's close to 400 million people, have Microsoft Teams suite. So obviously you will implement the Copilot, who's connected to everything, and they are using their own ChatGPT, but also OpenAI. The second one is when you look at embedding, is Salesforce. Salesforce also has a CRM, so that's quite straightforward, and also in other industry. The second one is how to more improve, transform mid to back office. Yeah, so there are lots of ways to increase productivity, and that's not for me. That is also, I get excited about it, yes, but not as excited about as for the third one, which is really innovation and transformation. So how can we transform businesses? And that's where the fun starts, I would say. And also, as Shamina said, I today just published what are the specific ChatGPTs, and it's mind-blowing. It's not all OpenAI, but a lot of them are connected to OpenAI, because Sam Altman also made a statement, and we see that, as you have highlighted, Ingrid, every day, every week, he is eating all startups. I mean, they come up with video, they come up with music, booms, next day, OpenAI does it anyway better. So forget your little startup, it's eating away. So the third one, in terms of innovation, for example, Morgan Stanley was very brave last year, started 16,000 financial advisors are now trained, not only trained with ChatGPT, but they have access to I would say Albert Einstein of wealth management. Yeah. So all the data in the company is pulled together, and all the approved reports and all the knowledge. So the poor financial advisor in, I don't know, in a little city and wherever, can just on a fingertip now have the access to Albert Einstein of wealth management. And that is something also we will see with doctors, we will see with everyone. You have your Albert Einstein always with you. The challenge will be hallucination, bias, accuracy, and all of that, what we know already. And then there's another thing which we observe, which is the AI agent. Yeah, so money on autopilot, let's say, or health on autopilot. So you will be totally scanned. That's not very far away. With a digital twin, you can already do it. You walk out of your door, so the scanning, oh, you have X, Y, that. So today your health regime is it, you eat this, you do that, you do that. Obviously, we are a bit scared of that, because also Big Brother is watching you, all the science fiction coming true. But it's my prediction that this is closer than we think, because we have already AI agents. So chatbot, and these will make decisions for you. And you can think about very good use cases. People are concerned about refinancing their flat, for example. And they don't want to go through the hassle to compare all the different banks. So AI will do it for you. It's not
Hmm.
difficult. Compare all the different banks, and decision will be obviously final. Maybe you can push the button, but it's like, okay, you have to refinance now, you have to reshuffle, you have to reinvest, you have to do this. So it's a completely different way thinking about that. And you have to think about, how do we control, how do we make it responsible AI, how do we make it ethical AI? So we have to think about all these consequences in this new world where society is changing. I have AI agents, I have her as a friend, as a ChatGPT doctor, I have my lover, my everything could be an AI. And this is not far. This is here right now with digital twin, with avatars, with what we have seen last week.